What's up, gang? It's your girl, Sherelle Renee.
And it's your girl, Ashley, and it's the Bear With Me podcast.
A podcast for constant evolution.
Where we do the soul work, soul search, and soul therapy.
Yes, intentional life here, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you know when we are live. And make sure that you go and like all our social media, Bear With Me podcast.
Right. Twitter, Instagram,
TikTok.
YouTube.
Make that TikTok go up, okay?
Oh, yeah. TikTok as well, yes.
And
today we have a very special guest. We have Alex
yes.
Dixon here.
Alex, what's going on? Well, first of all, wait a minute. Hold on, because we can't just say Alex. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure we add the accolades on there too. So if y'all missed the live, we'll get into that. But y'all probably missed the live from last week. So we got Alex back so that we can continue our conversation. So if you missed that, well, we back. But yeah, life coach, author. What else? What else? Give it to him. Let him know. Father.
That'll do it.
Life coach, father, author.
Yeah, I'll do it.
In the building. Thank you for being here with us.
We appreciate it. You taking out your busy schedule to come and kick it with us and, finish our conversation.
Yeah, let's get it.
Before we get into our conversation, though, we are going to go ahead and hit y'all with an icebreaker. So
y'all know that's what we do.
We're going to play this or that. You want to go first? Or you?
Woo! All right. So let me see. This or that, y'all know how it works. We throw some words out there. We're going to see what he like to get with this, what you like to get with that. All right? So, here we go. This or that. Off the top of my head. I don't know, Ashley. Hold on. Okay. You go ahead. You go with yours first.
So, we got, you like black women?
Oh.
Or do you like mixed women?
I think I know that answer. But this ain't my story.
Come on.
I love black women.
I think he lying.
He lying.
He's lying.
That's crazy.
I think he's lying, y'all.
So I gotta say this or that?
No, you can just answer
either one.
Well, I'm about love.
Okay.
I feel like
love is love.
Love is love, but if it look a certain way, like, all right, cool.
So you prefer love to have long curly hair?
Just treat me good,
He lying, y'all.
I love black women. I come from a black woman. I can't just talk about that. Come on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Ciroc or Hennessy? We know you're not the biggest drinker. Me either, but
Hennessy.
Ew, really?
Yeah, I'm not much of a clear person.
Okay. Yeah, he said he drinks scotch, y'all. So he an old man.
Yeah,
that's an old man.
That's right, I'm about to say like grandpa.
That's an old man drink.
Look at Katie tomorrow.
You feel me?
Let's see. Are you indoorsy or outdoorsy?
Outdoor.
Definitely
nature.
Okay.
So what's like an outdoor date you would say that you would take a woman on? Paint the picture for us.
I would check to see if she got allergies first. But,
no, you're not. You checking if they have allergies?
For sure, you got to, right? Like, get some off guard. We're gonna get a picnic.
Okay.
What's in your picnic spread?
Right.
What's in my picnic spread? Can't come empty-handed, so I gotta have flowers. But the flowers can't look like they come from a funeral home.
Oh.
So they gotta be with not the plastic, but they gotta be with the paper wrap.
Oh,
period.
Okay.
I mean, you didn't want to rip me in
right.
plastic.
Then you go to the, you go to the dollar store. You can get some little candies.
Okay.
Right. You go to Subway. I mean, not Subway. But
I'm about to say some cookies.
No, you go to Publix.
Sandwich, girl.
No,
chicken.
cookies.
Cookies. Add that in there too, right? Chocolate chip.
What?
Yeah. Chocolate chip. Yeah, keep it light. Probably get some wine.
Okay.
Wine. Can't go wrong with wine.
Okay.
Glasses.
Oh, okay.
Not
plastic.
Not plastic.
Can't do plastic.
I'm not that bougie, baby. I'll drink my wine right out of a red cup.
Everything tastes better with a glass. It really does.
Yeah.
That makes all the difference. Because, I feel that. Okay. Introvert or extrovert? Tongue tied today. What's going on?
I'm really an omnivore. I'm honestly a mixture of both of them. But I would say, if you ask me, I would say I'm introverted.
Introverted? Yeah. Okay.
So omnivore is what? Kind of like both?
Both.
I feel like I'm both. I feel like I used to be more extra than in. Yeah.
Now, well, I'm in. I'm all
now I'm a little bit of both. It depends.
Yeah. I don't like small talk.
Me either. Get to the chase. What you want? What you want?
I don't like small talk. And I don't like chaos. Too much chaos makes me a little nervous. So I don't like being in a lot of big places with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, something break out. I can't find the exits. We tripping over each other.
Like, damn, every time we talk, you got a problem.
Like,
that'd be
like a dark cloud hanging on your head.
No, seriously, it's
Yeah, I gotta get off that.
Let me see. I got one more that's gonna bring us in. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, because we're coming off the dome with this one, y'all. So sometimes, it's like, you don't know which way to go. You don't know what you want to ask.
Love or loyalty?
Love or loyalty? You give me loyalty.
You take loyalty over love?
I take loyalty over love.
Why?
You know, I'm a love person, but I take the fact that, like, knowing that I have someone in my corner, I think that love is it's an emotion. I think emotions change. But I think loyalty is a place of principle.
That's true.
It's a space of integrity.
Right.
So
that's true.
Yeah.
I feel that. And I think we asked that before.
Like, I don't have
ask him that?
No, not him. Just I think we talked about that before. And I think that's kind of something similar to remember we went live a while ago. We went live a long time ago, like season 1. And I think we was talking about that.
They're gonna have to check the archive.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm not who I was last season.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Love and loyalty. Okay.
I don't have trust issues. I hope that you're doing the right thing. Do I trust completely all the way you're doing the right thing? I'm more hopeful.
Yeah. No.
Like,
I feel you. I feel you in a way. I
hope you're doing right because I don't want to have to, shuffle the cards up a little bit.
Right.
Sometimes you got to
pull up on you. Maybe have to pull up on you.
I ain't pulling up.
You ain't pulling up? I think you pulling up. I think you take the right. You pulled up before. You've pulled up before.
Silent assassin.
I think I have pulled up before.
Yeah.
Listen, I know I have before. Yeah. I sure did. I was not mad about it.
Everybody got a pull-up story, huh?
I did.
No, several.
Yeah, several? I put up a time or two.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess, I don't know. It depends on the situation for me. Because pulling up, honestly, it really don't matter. But I say it depends because I feel like when you're in your emotions, you don't know what you'll do. It's easy to say, you wouldn't do something or whatever. Like logically, yes, but emotionally, I don't know. So that's where I like to stay. I don't know.
Right.
It sounds good.
It sounds good.
Look, saying like, I ain't on camera saying what I'm gonna do. I don't know.
Pulling up is crazy, though.
Pulling up is crazy.
Logically, it is.
Because here's the thing: when you pull up, you don't have it thought out of like what you gonna do when you get there. How you just trying to catch somebody in something, and so you don't know what you about to do. I done pulled up and then put the car in park. I'm just ready to get the hell out because I gotta catch you. I gotta catch you. About to get ran over.
My pull up was different though. That person wasn't there.
Oh, see, that's no fun. Yeah. I'm gonna make sure you're there. I know you're there for a fact. Come outside. Yeah. Like what was it on Thin Love Between Thin Line Between Love and Hate? Yeah. She's like, hey mama.
Look at you.
Right. pulling up on him at his own house. I don't care where you at. I'm pulling up.
But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like if I gotta start doing all that though, I don't need you. Like at this big age, that is. But I will say, I don't like to say what I will or won't do because you never just really know what you'll do. You really don't.
So somebody had you effed up.
Yeah. So it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But you know, just even when it comes to emotions, you know, how do you feel like when it comes to men? We know that women are way more emotional. We know that, but
are we?
Well, and are we? You're right, because I don't know, because these men these days are starting to get a bit more, and there's nothing wrong with that though. Let me say that there's nothing wrong, but then
I just think women vocalize their emotions a lot more. But I don't see we have this like connotation that women are just so emotional and like men are not.
And they
yes, you have your men that are they're not like emotionally available, whatever the case may be. But I think the difference is that we don't have a problem showing it. We don't have a problem saying it. We don't have a problem crying about it. Whereas men, they're emotional, but they might handle it a lot differently. You know, theirs might come off as like aggression or whatever. You think men are more emotional than the women, or women are more emotional?
I mean, if anybody ever lived with a man before, then they know, right? They're very emotional.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
They are.
You know,
but y'all don't get that notion. They don't give men that notion. It's always women are more emotional than men.
Yeah, no, men are. Yeah,
men are, and they do vocalize it, and a lot of times, like it could be met with not really. They want to solve a problem, but I don't really think that women all the time ask for a solution.
What do you mean, like say if we have a problem?
No, I said like if men want to just solve it and get over with, right?
Yeah,
but then on the other side, women have a problem, right? Like she's not saying that. Like if you had a bad day, right? Like a man just wants to know what can you do to make your day better.
Yes.
Like
he want to skip all the details.
Yeah, like okay, what can I do?
What we gonna do? He's solution based,
right?
Okay.
But now, right, like in a situation where like you just want to talk about it,
right?
It's the same thing if you have a dress and you say, "Hey, babe, which dress look better? This one,
right?"
You don't want the answer, but you want to say well, this one looks good because the way your body looks with this. And I like the way that heels.
And they don't do that.
Remember those heels? But whatever you decide, you want to look great in both of them.
Right.
Yeah. The choice is still yours.
Yeah. Right.
But a man would say, no, like that one right there. Like,
and that's it. That's
put that one on.
Yes. And I think that frustrates us so bad because we be wanting to, even if it is just a matter of like, we had a bad day, we want to talk about it. At the end of it, they'll be like, well, so what you want me to do? Or, okay, so how we gonna handle the situation? It's like, no, I just wanted to talk to you about it. I wanted you to like justify that, like I'm okay with feeling how I feel, but they're just straight like, all right, so now what? Yeah. Oh, we still talking about this? How old was this? Like, and they be ready to dead it, like.
And I get it to an extent. I feel like to an extent I get that because sometimes I can be like that. Sometimes I can be like, okay, all right, cool. What are we finna do? Right. Yeah. Like sometimes you do get like that, but as a woman and as we are, and I don't know why we are like this, but we do want that extra explanation. We do want you to talk about it a little bit more because we're in that emotional space or we're in that space where we just need more from you than a just, okay, well, what you want me to do? Like we want you to fix the problem, but we also want you to hear us out as to what it is. And we want you to not only fix it, but talk about it.
Yeah.
Right. Because we want to talk.
I think the great thing in between that is like finding a space to be able to do that. Creating that space, creating that environment. You know.
Yeah.
I know they like to come in the house and just drop the keys down and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying?
And we will do
Let me get this off. You got yours off earlier, and that was my time.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. You come in the house like, hey, babe, so let me tell you how.
And he's like, hold on, dang, wait.
He don't even be ready. He don't even be remotely ready yet. Like,
and they switch up. Nah, bro. So, but I do think women are deserving of the extra attention to detail.
Right.
Because what's the alternative? she walks away. She becomes emotionally unavailable. She starts checking out. Then she starts to plan things. And
then we too manly and we too alpha, we too aggressive, and all this other stuff.
What I've learned is when women start planning things, the less like she does it. Like, you know, she loses her glow a little bit, right? And then she starts to plan a life that doesn't have him included in it. And then she starts to, you know, he's like, why are you talking about this? And she goes, oh, I thought I did. But she just had a conversation in her brain of what she was going to do.
We had the conversation.
You weren't included.
You just wasn't included.
So I think it is important for men to have dominance with authority, but men also have to learn how to submit to their woman.
Too.
Okay, let's talk about
that. Exactly.
Yeah. I think it's mutual. You know, they often say that, oh, it's the woman that's supposed to be submissive. But, I mean, yeah, it is. But I do agree to an extent a man should also be submissive because we're here to help. Right. You know what I mean? We're here to help as well. Nobody knows everything. Not one person knows everything. So it's like, we're here to help. Y'all are here to lead. Right. We can help lead you in certain things, but ultimately you're the lead. So, and we're the wisdom behind a lot of it. A lot of times, sure. But we need more. We are the wisdom. Yeah, we need more men.
Well, women see things that men can't see.
Absolutely, right. Vice versa.
If I'm around somebody, you know, and my woman might be like, "Hey, Alex, like." That person right there, like they know good. The same way, like your mother would do when you was in high school. Yeah, about your friends,
and she still doing that. Right? Hey, mom, you was right. Yeah,
you know, every time, like I don't know about that one there. Yeah, that one right there. You know, that one. You know,
we don't be want to hear that. Y'all don't be want to hear that either. You know. Yeah. We see a lot of different stuff y'all don't see, especially when it comes down to y'all friends.
Yes, Lord.
Especially when it comes down to y'all friends.
My mama, ooh, she be knowing.
So I would say this, like, right. So like me coaching women, right. I've coached a number of women where they say they're with a guy and their guy didn't like the friends that she was around. Do you view that as, or does it depend on delivery? Do you view that as like controlling?
In what context was that said?
So like, so I give you an example. Like, so this woman, she was like an influencer, right? Okay. So she's on TV. She does events, things like that. She dates a guy, and you know, within like a month, you know, he says, "Hey, I don't like your friends." Like
within a month, he said that.
Yeah, within a month.
Okay.
Right.
Just throwing out a time frame, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like facts.
Yeah.
Like, no, a month. Like exactly.
Okay.
So it's like then you know, it didn't last like she said it lasted for like 6 months. But she seen that it was like ego and controlling. Right? Okay. Like so when she wanted to cut him off, he went behind her back and then DMing all of her friends to try to get attention, you know. Right. You know, so and she goes, well, isn't this the same friends that you didn't like? Right. Yeah. So do you view that as controlling?
So here's the situation when it comes down to that. There has to be, number one, if I'm dating somebody or whatever the case may be, and he tells me like, hey, I don't like your friend, or like, oh, I don't like Sherelle, I don't like that, I don't want you hanging with her, right? Number one, there has to have been some type of level of disrespect, whether it had been to me or to our relationship, that would guide you or gear you into thinking that way. But just off of like a first interaction or whatever, like, I'm not going to cut somebody off because my person is like, hey, I don't like her. You got to have a legitimate reason for it. Or unless you know something I don't know. And in that case, tell me, let me know, you know what I mean? But I think I've heard that a lot of times as well. I've dated people and they be like, oh, I don't like her, or I don't like you hanging with her. And for me, in my experience, it's been a lot of men don't like when like strong women link up.
Absolutely.
You know, because you don't like what she's telling me, or you don't like the advice she's giving me because it's in opposition to the stuff you're telling me, and like, you know, whether it's to get me to stay in a relationship that's not healthy or whatever. Whereas I might have this friend who's trying to talk me into like knowing my worth and you know, bettering myself, and like, so of course he don't like her, right? Because she's a threat. You know what I mean? So I feel like in cases like that, I can understand where a man would be like, oh, I don't like her because it threatens your position. You feel like, because, you know, she's probably speaking life into me and I might be turning into this bad bitch behind closed doors. And then I'm realizing
all you got to do is be firm and speak life into her.
Right. But that's not always the case because a lot of men like to stay with women they can manipulate.
Absolutely.
So when you get with a strong friend or you have a friend that's going to be like, oh, girl, no, you're better than that. Or no, here's what we're going to do. He don't like her. He don't like her because she's going to be the reason that y'all split. You know what I mean? So for me, it just matters. The man has to have a legitimate reason. Like if there was no immediate threat or disrespect to the relationship, like I'm not going to stop being friends with somebody because you don't like them. For me, if I tell a dude that, there was a legitimate reason for why I say, that's not your friend. You know what I mean? Or that's not your homeboy. Whether he didn't try to talk to me, whether he done made a play at you, whether I done heard him say something about you or some sideways shit, you know what I mean? But I always know, you know what I mean? I think you can always tell. But I'm never gonna not like somebody because I'm threatened by a friendship.
Well, I'm gonna say for me, my first thoughts, if my man or a man or whatever would say that, my first thought to myself, honestly, would be, can I even trust this man's judgment? For one, because I can look at his friends and I can have my opinion as well, and it just don't add up either to me. But then you have this opinion about my friends. So my first question to myself would definitely be, okay, first of all, is this, can I trust his judgment? And is this wisdom he's talking? I have to be able to recognize what is being said to me and who is saying it and what is the intent behind it. Sometimes there's no way to decipher all of that just by a simple, I don't like her or they ain't your friends. But to me, I don't feel like, and especially in a month, don't get me wrong, I'm not putting time frames on anything, but in that situation, or at least in that case, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, she was an influencer, you know, she got this dude, it was a month, blah, 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 but then you got this man that come in your life in a month and automatically he's telling you, oh, I don't like that friend, or these ain't your friends. Cool. But first of all, what grounds did you come into the situation to have that opinion? I would start questioning what is this? Because what would make him say that? Not even about my friends yet. I wouldn't even look at my friends yet. I would look more towards him and like, well, within myself, I may not even ask him no questions. I may just start to just, you know, and even if I did ask some questions, okay, well, why do you feel like that? Because now I need to know, why do you feel like that? I'm not gonna take it no way until I decipher whether or not it's aligned with, because we can't see everything, but if it's aligned with something that's as significant as me cutting them off. But I'm never gonna cut anybody off for one, just because my man say something for one. But I would kind of question, okay, well, where'd that come from? Like, why? And then two, can I trust his judgment? Was that even wise for him to tell me right now? Was it the time to tell me? Am I ready to accept that? Or what is his motive behind saying that? I have so many questions.
So that leads me to my next question. So do you think that like a lot of men intentionally try to isolate women from their friends and their family?
I would say like, so a little bit like from like my background, right? Like a couple years ago, right? Like, and I say this now all the time, like I was a master manipulator, right? Like whatever I wanted, like anybody would tell you, like whatever I want, like I go get it, right? And now I have more of a genuine heart, and I realize that like there needs to be, there's giving and taking, right? And it works best when they're both, you know, reciprocal, right? And so there's ways to word that question and to have a conversation. You can say, hey, you know, right now I know that we're fairly new. You know, this makes me uncomfortable. And do you think that you can put that to the side or whatever, so we can focus on us and build us more? Right. Now this guy is just saying that like I'm a little, you know, insecure.
That's pretty much
right?
what that's giving.
That's really what that is.
That's what something's not right with that.
Yeah,
that's why I was like,
you can have conversations.
Yeah,
but to come in someone's life and make a demand,
right?
By manipulating a woman and saying like, hey, I'm going to pull everything that you stand on. I'm going to pull that up underneath you, and all you're going to have is me.
That's control. That is control.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that was
that's a sign of control.
And I think that is I wouldn't say that's the average guy like with not good intentions. That's his MO.
Or an insecurity, or he know he ain't shit nigga.
So pull him away from your friends and family. Because you want it to be, that's definitely a sign of control.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
You know,
and somebody else too.
Somebody that used to manipulate women, like that's definitely a manipulating tactic.
Yeah.
Right. To remove everything they care about.
Sure.
Because they want to be the one, and that's scary.
That they run to for everything.
Yeah, that's scary because it's all rooted in insecurity for sure.
It's not the genuine way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I feel like that's all rooted in insecurity because if you just want this person to solely depend on you for everything, emotional, like everything, then that's you feeding yourself and your ego. It's not even about them at that point.
I think that's earned over time.
Yeah.
Somebody coming in and making demands is wild to me personally.
Yeah. That's very wild. Like, huh?
You know.
So as a man, what is like one of y'all's biggest insecurities?
Yeah.
Like when it comes down to women.
Man, I feel like, and I'll speak for me, but I think I'm just gonna cover a couple people, honestly. To love something and see it go away. Right? To love something like with all your heart, to try and to give and to explore and to make adjustments, right? And it just not work out the way that you saw fit.
Right.
You know, knowing that you know, you couldn't get it right and you gave it your all. Right. I think that's hard because then when he moves on or sees somebody else that he likes, it is hard for that now woman to connect with him because of what happened the last one.
I see.
Right. And if that woman lingers around, then, you know, he's still keeping tabs on her, on what it could have been.
Oh, yeah.
So he's basically still mourning that loss, but in something new.
Yeah.
And then trying to work this out over here, but really ain't emotionally or really connected to this over here because you still left back here.
Because guys really don't, on the insecurity part, like, guys really don't like to be alone. Right?
Okay.
So, but for me, I always say, like, I'd rather have the right person next to me than the wrong spirit.
Amen.
Right.
You know? I know that's right.
So, I think the insecurity would be just guys don't want to be alone and then loving something and it goes away.
Right.
You know, because they probably grew up and they had a friend that they loved and they died.
Yeah.
Or their mom or their dad, you know, wasn't there or they passed. So it's like whatever I love. And I go through this like, you know, even today, right? Like being separated from like my kids. When I have my kids, like but I learned to when you love something purely, you want to see it do good in the world.
Right.
And if it come back to you if you treat it well.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but you don't get to control, you know, the outcome.
Yeah, or the going through.
Yeah, you control your effort and how you show up.
Yes.
And so I focus on the latter than what's, you know, in the past.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you have to. I agree with that. And then, you know, I just think, and I don't like to speak for men. That's why I like to talk to men to try to like, you know, get in their head and understand, because I just feel like we all know men and women are totally different. We think differently. We're not even wired at all the same. So how we perceive something is totally different than how you guys perceive it or how we take something or whatever. And it's just funny because even like we were just talking about like men and what we was just saying about like how y'all think about certain situations, or at least on a live, I remember. I often wonder, like, when it comes to men and how they think about women, and especially in this generation, what do you think about the women in this generation, and what is that you feel we lack? Like, as a man, and how you guys think.
What women lack?
Yes.
That's
important
be careful.
To you guys.
Be careful.
But that's important to you that we may not view so important.
my thing is empathy and grace.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Really, I think we give a lot of grace.
Yeah, but when it's time to you know, when all the grace is up, it's up.
Yeah.
You know? And you could be graceful with an exit. Like,
that's true.
You know.
I'm gonna gracefully exit.
Yeah, you know, I always say the person that leaves in anger, like they'll be back. The person that leaves, you know, gracefully, peacefully, you know, hey, I wish you would.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna hear from that person again. But if they still giving you some, and guys fish for that, because they know that's how they got pressure points, pain points.
Okay.
So when their mom was frustrated with them, what did she do? She yelled at them.
Right.
So that's his first thing, like love, right? And so I would say grace, and I
like that.
Yeah, and empathy, right? Like knowing that he's going through something. It don't mean take a loan out. It don't mean help him with something.
Right.
It just mean love him in a way where, you know, he can feel safe with saying, like, you know, where you can say, hey, you know, I know that you're working on something. How's it going? And he can comfortably say, like, I don't know the direction I'm going in right now. I'm struggling right now.
Right.
Like, I don't really know if I should finish this, or I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm really like stressed out.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel like, but when a man does do that, I feel like some women feel this is the grace. Some women will feel like, oh, he ain't strong as I thought he was. Oh, he going through this. Oh, wow, he dealing with that. Ew, I'm turned off. You know.
Yeah.
No. And then you got Jerome 89 on the gram lit. You know.
Right.
She give him all the grace in the world.
You know. She may not give him the number, but he got the gram. Yeah. Right. And now she's seeing his lifestyle. He's lit. He's doing this. He's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? What if I can go over there?
Right.
You
that
know?
looks like fun.
And then she go over that side. What was that movie? Temptation, Tyler Perry?
She found out the grass was not greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Whooped that ass. Life whooped that ass too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can see that. And I think you're right.
And that goes back into what we were saying on a live about, like, a lot of it has to do with the expectation that we have in this new generation that we have. Like, as far as how we feel like a relationship should go, as far as the role we think a man should play, as far as how much money or what his caliber looks like, you know what I mean? Because speaking for myself, I would personally prefer a man to be like, listen, I'm going through this right now. Hey, I just got done paying this, but I would still like to do X, Y, and Z, but here's my situation. Or I would like a man to communicate things with me versus just being emotionally unavailable and not speaking and holding things to himself. Because at the end of the day, a trying man is better than no man. And I just feel like we live in this space where we have expectations, whether it's influenced by music, social media, influencers, whatever the case may be. But yeah, that's why they're gonna go to Jerome 93 on the gram, because his life is lit. He's throwing money and he's living a stress-free life, and he's traveling, and I'm here with this nigga, and we stressed and we trying to figure it out, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's not. Jerome is lit and he's emotionally unavailable. He ain't got no space in his life for you, but he gonna show you a good time and he gonna buy you things, you know. And I just feel like it's just we're just brainwashed. You know,
there's women who have a.
Why you laughing? Why you laughing?
That's how you said it. We just brainwashed.
We're brainwashed. We are.
There's women that have a real world feel, and there's women who are influenced by social media. And so I do think it takes a woman who is emotionally intelligent. To recognize what's in front of her. Same thing with a man. You know, see what's in front of you. See how real it is. Right. Because what you think you're chasing, it ain't nothing out there, bro. You know, really, honestly, you know, because, you know, you think that, oh, she don't listen with the next person. If you don't communicate better, she ain't gonna listen either. Right. If you don't communicate your frustrations, you know, in a healthy way that promotes growth, you ain't gonna see somebody growing. Right. You know, you're gonna see them growing away from you. Yeah. So
I'll say this, and this is a whole different subject, but I often hear us women, we have a habit of saying this, and it's well, I'm a good woman. He left a good woman, and you know, you got your friends hyping you up, like, oh yeah, she a good woman. How he gonna do her like that? And like, that's a good woman, Savannah. And you know, we say that a lot. And we very well may really think that, or we very well may be that. Mm-hmm. But my question and what I often wondered was, what will you say, how does men classify a good woman? Because we wouldn't even really know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't really know what a good woman is, for one. So we already out of pocket because we don't date us. You know what I mean? We're not a man. We can't classify that. We can feel that way all day about ourselves.
Right.
So my question is, what makes a man, or what makes a good woman from a male's perspective? What is that? Like, what is that?
Man, I it's loaded.
Yeah,
you know?
I know.
Okay, give us 3 things.
Yeah,
3 things.
3 things.
Okay. Just attention to detail.
Okay.
You know, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And that covers a lot right there.
Yeah.
But to dive in more deeper, it is not the image that people put out. You know, just a bunch of eyes. I.
Right.
It's we're a team.
Yeah.
You know, and someone to look at us as that.
I hear you.
Leadership is fluid.
Right.
Okay.
Like, it ain't no one person that's doing nothing.
Right.
You know, it's a collective. You know, sometimes you're the point guard, I'm the center.
Right.
Sometimes, you know, I'm the assistant coach. You know, so I just, what am I at, 2?
Yeah.
I'm at 2.
That was probably like
I had
2 and 3 quarters.
I had to take a detour.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Because, what was it again? The question.
What makes it for men?
What he said?
He feeling a look at y'all. For men, just generally, or at least for you, what makes a good woman a good woman? Because it's obviously a little bit different for what we think as women.
Just because you can love somebody good doesn't mean that you can love them well. You know?
Or how they need to be loved.
Or how they need to be loved, right? Or how they receive it. There's this thing where people say love languages.
Right.
You got to learn how to be bilingual.
Right.
Like, you got to learn how to, you know,
do a little bit of everything.
Come on. You know.
Yeah.
So, a good woman is pay attention to detail, right? Like, listen, be there, be supportive.
Yeah.
You know, be a friend above all.
Right.
You know, like, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, they say sex is great, but, you know, there are a lot of things that make a man's mind, like, just, you know, an idle mind is in a playground.
Right.
You know, so it's like, give them something to think about. Right?
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. and I ask this because I want us women to understand that as well, because even to this day, still learning certain things like that. So I want us to understand it and hear it from a man, because I think we have a perception of something and we are completely wrong. And we are so far from the truth and so off.
Right.
Because we are that arrogant to think that we know. But men are too, and their arrogance.
Right.
They have this, but I'm talking about us.
Yeah. I don't.
Or we possess qualities that we want them to possess.
Yeah.
So we feel like these are the qualities that make us a good woman.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
because
not
we're like, I do this, I cook, I clean.
What
I'm
is that?
Considerate. I make sure he got this for work.
What that mean?
Because in our head, we want a man who's considerate and make sure that we got X, Y, and Z, and hey, don't forget this, and you know what I mean? All the things that we want. And so those are the things that we feel like qualify us as a good man. And then he could care 2 shits about any of that. Like, girl, I wash my own clothes. I cook my own food.
Because you can be this good woman for a year straight and wear yourself out, and that man will never appreciate. You will feel like he will never appreciate what you have brought to the table, all because you thought you were.
You never
what
said.
he needed.
You never said.
You never asked him. You never said. Yeah.
You never said thank you, baby.
Right.
Like,
and I say, well,
thank you, baby. You're the best.
Right.
You know,
I don't know about the best. But
I mean, if a man has an ego, sometimes you got to stroke it, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
At the end of the day, like, I don't know how deep I could cut it, right? So it's like, women feel like, oh, I got the best sex, but it's like, you know, like, for instance, like, your mama's like wrote it. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, you feel me? Like, your grandma, like,
here we go talking about the mamas again.
You know
mamas,
here we go.
Your grandma I did it like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's never going to be enough to keep a man. Like your body, your flesh is never going to be enough.
Yes.
And that's what I mean by that, right?
Right.
How many blocks of mental, like a real estate, can you hold in his brain?
Right.
So like where he reached this block or this distraction, and I got a wife and family back home.
Right.
And when he hit here, when a beautiful girl is in front of him, like, and she's like, and he's like, nah, so like, man, just chill, like you brushing up on me,
right?
Like, and she might be like, man, is you?
Yeah, it's always that.
You know,
okay?
You alright? Like,
yeah,
you know, like, nah, like, but a man has a responsibility to like, when he's not approached in a respectful manner, to make that woman feel corny for what she's doing.
Right.
Like, me having a daughter, like, I'm training her to be mentally tough.
Right.
Right. You fall down, you get back up.
Yeah.
Because life is gonna knock you down.
Right.
So I'm in charge of creating having a little girl.
Yeah.
And turning her into a respectable woman.
Right.
Her mom would turn her into, a lady. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But for me, it is to teach you discipline, and it is to teach you, look, I'll give you an example. On Father's Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
She called me at like 7 p.m.
Your daughter.
My daughter,
Okay.
right? And so
yeah,
7 p.m. right? So I was like, thank you. I love you. I was outside, I was doing some stuff. And I was like, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
The next day, I was like, hey, how you doing? She said, I'm good. Hey, how you doing? I was like, it's good. So I did you have a good Father's Day? I said, yeah, I did. I said, I want to talk to you about something. She said, okay, what's up? And I said, listen, like, you show up for people who show up for you.
Absolutely.
Right? There's two things that I care about, right? And I'm not big on dates.
Right.
My birthday, Father's Day.
Right.
It means something to me.
Right.
So, right, regardless of what everybody says, whatever about the date, it means something to me.
To you.
Right.
You can call me. It could be 3 o'clock. You can say, I got a school, Daddy. I have something at my school at 5 o'clock. Mommy can't take me. Whatever I got going on, it's canceled. I'm there.
Right.
So I was like, if I show up for you in the most realest way, you show up for me in the morning.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I heard her mom in the background, and then she texted me the next morning, and she was like, I may not always agree with what you do, but just thank you for everything that you do, for the kids. Because she heard how important that conversation was. I'm not gonna raise nobody to be ungrateful.
Right.
And there's so many women who are growing up. There's so many girls who grow up who just grew.
Right.
They're not growing up to be a respectable woman.
Right.
That a man can look at her and be like, she hold me accountable. She's respectable.
Right.
She's loving. She's giving. She's honest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She has grace, right? But there is a line.
Yeah.
And so I'm bringing up, like, this is the line.
Yeah.
But this is also the standard.
Right.
Yes, like trust, love, honesty. All right. Bare minimum. Like,
Right.
Very much so.
You know what I'm saying?
Like that's the given.
Yeah.
You don't get no quads.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But, see people that see you.
Hello.
Show people who show for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Love people who love you.
I
And
agree.
because I told her, I said, you know what? Like, look, kindness and gentleness, I give it easily.
Right.
It's something that I give freely.
Right.
But if I have an attitude, know that you earn that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You better speak. No, seriously.
You earned it.
I am one with that. I am so one with that.
Yeah, you earned it.
No, seriously, because it's like, come on now, and it goes back to that. It goes back to that grace. It goes back to that loving freely. It goes back to that, and you give that away freely because that's just who you are. That's just your character. That's just what you do. So, is it fair? And I'm only asking because I gotta ask.
Come on,
be the devil's advocate. Because I agree. But is it fair to assume or expect that in return?
Which part?
All of it.
Oh, is it fair to expect it in return? Yeah, I think it is.
I think so too.
I think it's
I
beyond
don't
fair.
think you shouldn't expect what you don't. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like what you wouldn't want to have.
Yeah.
We all have a, let's say, a small circle of good people. We have people who, you know what I mean?
Why you laughing?
Like,
Amen. Hallelujah.
thank you for them, right? They show up for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes it's the people that you don't even expect. But if they're show for you and you don't even expect it, you should pay more attention to who they are. Because you're trying to be affirmed by somebody that does not want to affirm you.
Right.
But you're giving them all the attention in the world.
It's true. It's
so
true.
And so if you have a gallon of love to give, right, and I have a pint, right, you can pour all day and fill me up.
I ain't got it.
But after you pour,
my little pint.
I could never fill you up if I only have a pint.
That's it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's it.
And so that's really how you love.
Yeah.
In a sense.
And I'm feeling that because me and Ashley had that conversation a couple days ago. Just about stuff like that. It's just recognizing what you have to offer anybody, relationships, friendships, whatever. Recognizing that, but expecting it back.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to expect it back, because if you don't have an expectation for yourself, I don't care what the relationship it is, what type of relationship it is. You have to, and that's why I ask that, because I agree all day, but I ask that because some people might be like, well, what if they don't care? Because some people don't care. Some people don't want to give it back. Some people don't know how to. And then some people just, it's oblivious. They in the sky, they just buy as dumb as a box. They don't know. So it's like, yes, and that's how I feel. Like, yes, I should expect this back.
If they meet a standard in your life, there's a standard.
Absolutely.
So they met it.
Yeah.
And you know that they're damn sure capable of meeting it.
Right.
So I'm not gonna take, whatever they took over there, that's great.
Right.
But over
I'm
here,
not over here.
I want your best.
That's
Right.
it.
And if your best is a 20% that day, I still feel like that's owed to me.
Right.
Let me know I'm going through something, but I got you.
Right.
This is what I can give today. All right, cool. I take care of the 80, got the 20.
Yeah.
And but if you keep coming back and say
it's 20 all the time,
I got 20.
It's
I got 20.
Come on,
I got 20 on it. I got 20.
Yeah. Babe, I don't know what's going on. I got 20 today. All right. Come on.
Because then it's like, at that point, it's like, okay, I see that it's how it's going to continue to go.
Yeah.
Right.
So now I got to nip this in the bud, because it's like, I'm not about to keep giving you the 80.
Right.
You giving me the 20.
Yeah.
And that's how people are. And that's how, and especially, like I said, in any kind of relationship it is. And I feel that.
Yeah,
especially even friendships. That's really what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I got a question, right? When it comes down to the term alpha female,
God,
where do you think that the alpha female comes from? Like, what has taken place? What has created? What has made a woman go from being what we're supposed to, I guess, what society says that we should be, soft, light, gentle, caring. What turns a woman into an alpha?
What makes her?
I don't think we're born alpha.
Absolutely
women.
not.
We're not born alpha females.
Yeah, we're not born into it. I don't even like the term alpha woman, because I feel like she shouldn't have to be so
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Gotta go and on.
But life has made her puff her chest out and stick her chin up.
Right.
And don't get it twisted. Like, women have always been warriors. Men have lied, killed, steal, beaten, taken over countries, dominated, parts of the world.
Right.
All in the name of a woman.
Yeah.
Right. So if you feel like a woman ain't valuable, there's your explanation, right? Like, she is that and all and more, right?
Right.
And she's gonna show you every time why she deserves that.
Yeah.
She adds value to your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wholeheartedly feel like, man, if you just my brain went dead.
No, so basically it was just what's the reason that a woman becomes an alpha female? When it comes down to
she had to.
Okay, so yeah.
She had to.
But what? Life, men?
Sometimes it's not even men. Sometimes it's like they mom and dad just made them feel so strong. And you had to be like, there's one thing that I learned about dating different races, right? Black women, a lot of black mothers, they teach their daughters how to be self-sufficient individuals.
Very true.
And I grew up in a Caribbean household. I grew up in a Hispanic household.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, it's different. And you're gonna have to learn the difference.
They cater to their men. Even the young kids, they bring the plate to their dad and everything.
You're in a kid, she's 9 years old. She's stirring the rice and beans like this. Like they teaching her.
No.
Go get the plate. Black families, a lot of times, like, if they say, once you've been here 3 times, you ain't even guessing no more.
That'd be me. I'd be like, fix your own food.
Yeah, and it's cool, right? But let family be around, you're gonna fix your man a plate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And okay, you're done. Okay, let me, I got you, right?
Right.
And it detail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow, like, I've never had this before.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it here.
Yeah.
You know? And it ain't a secret, but most women that have always had to be strong, they meet another strong individual, and over time, like, he affirms you by, hey, it's okay, I got it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, don't worry about that. Hey, matter of fact, I already took care of that.
Yeah.
You know? I seen the money, you know what I mean? Like, did you eat today? Did you do this?
Yeah.
You naturally go back in your shell because you feel protected.
That's what it is, because that's what I was trying to get you to say, because I feel like the alpha female comes from a place of not feeling safe.
Yeah.
Whether it's you don't feel like the man can be financially responsible, whether you come from a hard life, you know, you've almost been evicted, so you never want to be put in that situation again. You're self-sufficient, self-reliant, or you're in a relationship where you don't feel safe and he's not good with money, or you know what I'm saying? So you always feel like you have to kind of have a dick swinging contest with him, like, you know, like, I got to make sure the bills is paid. I got to make sure that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
if I don't do it,
if I don't do it,
imagine,
done.
Imagine like, you know, having a relationship where like, you got to get up to go to work every morning, and you know, your man that you chose to be with is laying in bed.
Imagine, I couldn't.
You know,
I couldn't imagine.
So,
can you imagine how we would wake up every morning?
I couldn't.
And then him wanting, and then him wanting something, you know.
And it's like, if you don't
can
get
you
your,
get a little
get
what?
If you don't
Can
get
you
up,
get some what?
you want me to what?
Yeah.
Go to hell, boy.
So I will say this: like 90% of women's problems stem from feeling unloved.
Right.
Yeah,
I can agree.
If they're loved in that area, catered to in that area, over time, it's an overtime process, not an overnight process.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it is also you doing the work on yourself.
On yourself. Oh yeah.
That's a piece that, like, you know, we haven't talked about yet.
Right.
Is the work.
Yes.
Right? It's the, like, whether it's eating better, whether it's working out, whether it's reading a book, whether it's starting something that you wanted to start, whether it's going somewhere that you know, doing the work.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's coaching, whether it's therapy, whether it's whatever the case may be.
Whatever it is.
Improve.
Yeah.
Because if a man come into your life and you want to see him add something.
Absolutely.
But if you're standing still, I never leave the house, Alex. Where can I meet these men? Go to a bar, go have a drink.
Yeah. You have to place yourself.
You know, a lot of men are afraid of. A lot of men have ego. Yeah. So they'll see a pretty woman, they won't approach you,
right?
Because of the rejection.
Yeah.
But if you and I wrote it down in my book, I was like if you let's say if you go to Best Buy, right, and you're looking at laptops, you see a guy looking at laptops too. Right, you may not even want to buy a laptop, but you see a nice looking guy.
You just over there acting right.
Hey, what's
I'm gonna buy me a laptop today.
Hey, what's the difference between this one and this one? You know, okay, this one does this one. Man, I don't even know. Like, I'm just, you know. By the way, hey, what do you do? You see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Okay, now you see what he does. Okay, what side of town do you live on?
Right.
Okay. Oh, my homegirl live over there. Knowing you lying, but now I know what side of town you live on.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, you know, what do you do? Like, yada, whatever. And then there you go. Right. You boom, right? Yeah. Okay, you know, have a nice day.
Uninterested, but what do you do? Oh, I rap. Right. Oh, okay, that's nice. You have yourself a good day, okay? All right.
Hey, take my number down.
But no, and that's being intentional, right, about what it is that you want.
Yes. And that's not even you doing work.
Yeah. No, that's just
you understanding a man.
That's just basic.
But it's basic for this table.
Yeah,
right?
But it's not so basic.
But for some women, they're like, why do I gotta speak first?
No, and you're right. You're absolutely right.
Sometimes you don't.
You don't, right.
But sometimes if you want that,
you need to.
He kind of wanted to, and he may want to have a conversation started to make him feel, because now he don't know, like, she just having a conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I be feeling bad for y'all sometimes, and I'm gonna be honest, because it's like, okay, we all want to get married, we want to meet the right man, blah blah blah, but we don't like men approaching us in the store. We don't want you to DM us. Don't DM. We don't want y'all trying to talk to us when we walk into the gas station. When we walking in the gas station.
Oh, that's the worst.
We don't want y'all talking to us when we look a mess.
It's like, what do you want?
So I be feeling bad for the men. Like, well, when they supposed to when is it appropriate to shoot your shot? Like, damn, poor guys.
Conversation real. You gotta have that splat. You gotta have that thing. Like, you see a woman be like, I know God is real. I'm looking at it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it don't matter where you at. She's like, oh my gosh, like, you talking to me?
Yeah.
Like,
I think not to cut you off, but I think it's the woman too, and it depends on how intentional you are about where you are in your life.
Right.
Because you can have a woman that do and run that whole scenario you just did in the Best Buy and do that. That's a woman who's intentional about what it is that she wants in life. But normally it's just women in our mind. We got these men in our mind that we want how we want them to be, and that's it. We can look at you and we instantly write you off and be like, nope, not my type, not blah, blah. And be like, nah, I'm good. Yeah. And that's just how we process it. And that's not us really doing, not even the work, but even trying to make an attempt to just see.
Yeah. Because maybe your type is not your type.
Yeah.
I always say, like, relationships are a woman's idea. Mm-hmm. Because she's going to steer that boat.
Right.
A man can, but a woman controls access. Mm-hmm. So she might say, I like him. Okay, he does this, like this, this. Okay, I had these it's amazing or crazy or astonishing how there are women that don't even have these conversations with the man, and they get 3 months in, and Alex, all of a sudden he just switched it up on me with that. Did you lie on your back? I did.
Not did you lie on your back?
Did he give you a title? No. There you go.
That's
did you demand a man to be a man? No, I just assumed that if he was going to, you had no plan.
Right.
Yeah.
You had no boundaries. You had no standards. You had no expectations. You would just say, let's just see where this goes. And when people say, let's see where it goes, they going to treat you in whatever ways.
And you're going to go to hell. Because usually that's where it goes. No, seriously.
We were talking about earlier how we touched on like God being in a relationship.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like, I'm supposed to have my own relationship with God. You're supposed to have yours. It is not a woman's job. Like, it can be, but it's not a woman's job to lead a man to the word.
Right.
It is a man's job to be led to submit unto God. And then a woman comes together, and then we're boom.
Right.
I've seen so many women try to put a Bible in a man's hand and say, hey, come to church with me. Like, that man want to go, he'll go.
Right.
It's a grown man.
Yeah. Exactly.
And he'll see that and he'll be like, man, I'm going to get in front of this before she's in back of me. You know what I'm saying? You can step up.
And that's the difference between a man who knows God and a God-fearing man.
Yeah. And then what's important to you can become important to me. Because sometimes, like you said, the woman can not necessarily lead, but you can lead somebody to Christ. And so at the end of the day, and that's all you have to do sometimes. All you have to do, and you just let God do the rest.
Right.
If they see that it's important to you and it's serious for you, and if they love you, they're gonna make a move. They're gonna make a move. But I want to go back to real quick about alpha females real quick, because I wanted to say, I agree with both of y'all when it comes to the why or some of the whys. And a lot of times it do go back to childhood. A lot of times it goes back to not having a father figure in the house. We come from a lot of broken homes. A lot of people didn't have the 2-parent household. And even then, the father may or may not have been a great example, which forced the mom to be the alpha female, and then of course it goes into raising her daughter into being that person or whatever the case, and just a lot of dysfunction. And so I don't like to put it, because with what I'm gonna say, it may seem like I'm blaming men, but I'm not. What I'm saying is, I think the lack of men in the household and the lack of family is what pushes women to be alpha, men to be absent. I really do. I feel like it's just the lack of that family a full family function. It's just a lack of. And we kind of like grow up, and our parents, obviously they raised us the best that they could with what they knew. Rather it's your dad raising you, your mom raising you, your grandma raising you, whoever. And you just pick up some of these habits. But I do think it goes back. It's just a lack of just that family dynamic, and a lot of it is just the male is missing from the home.
Yeah, I would say this, right? Like, you can be missing, and you can choose to be present. Mm-hmm. There's no consequence for a man to not be in the household, right? Like, there isn't one. I can still date a woman. I could date a woman who will accept me, and I could give her a story on why I'm not in my kid's life,
right?
And she will, okay, I understand,
absolutely,
And so I say that. But what I will say, and I've never said this like anywhere before, but like literally, I'm proud that my kids have 2 father figures. Myself and their mom, she's married. He's a God-fearing man, teaching about the Bible.
Yeah.
I'm proud that he thinks the world of her.
Yes.
And the world of my kids.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So there are a lot of guys who trip over that. But I've always been like me growing up without a father.
Yeah.
My kids have 2. Right. That love them. Yeah. Now I realize that it is my responsibility because yes, God gave them. He loved them before I knew that they were there.
Yeah.
Right. But it was my responsibility. They didn't actually be there. I put them here, and I can't even talk to the guys who not even in their kids' life.
I don't understand it. I really don't understand it.
But I'm proud because my kids, like, they get on a roll.
Yeah.
They're fed. They take care of. Like,
that's lovely.
They're loved. And just because you didn't get it right one time doesn't mean that the kids have to suffer.
Right.
Doesn't mean that you shouldn't want the best. Because my kids' mom, like, that's still my family. Like, they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So all that ill will and all like hate, like, I mean, I'm a man, so like I understand women may feel different about it, but as a man, you got to be firm in who you are in your position and give your kids an example to look up for, like, to look up to, And so they're gonna learn different things from me. They'll learn different things from him. Yeah. And for somebody who grew up who didn't have it, right? I ain't tripping.
So then, speaking of that real quick, because my daughter dad isn't in her life. So why do you think, what would make a man not want to be in their children's life? And I ask this because I just wonder, like, what would make them not want to be in their child's life? Like, thank God, like, she has, I got, my man is there. He's good with her and all that stuff. And I have brothers and all that. Yeah. But what would make a man not want to be in their child's life? What do you think that is?
Man, I'll be real with you. A lot of times, man, I ain't like, man, it's like you gotta respect boundaries though. Like, if she got a boundary, you gotta respect it. You may feel entitled to your child, and you may not. I ain't not dealing with this shit, man. I gotta put up with this. Like, she got a boundary, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there are guys who like, I'm doing this shit, man. This girl control my life.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And if that's your mindset, you ain't gonna be there, bro.
Yeah.
Like, but if your mindset is like, I'm gonna do what it takes, I don't care. There's no place on God's earth that my kids, if they live anywhere, I would still be there. I would still provide for them. I would still send money. I would still shelter them. I would still, you know what I mean? But it's a level of like, do you love? You are responsible for what you put on earth. But some men feel like, well, I didn't grow without daddy. I ain't grow without mother. So like, I turned out fine. Like, bro, you need therapy.
Right. Or like they just didn't want the child in the beginning. So they just resent you. And it's that power struggle of, well, I didn't want the baby in the beginning, or whatever. So then it becomes like a power struggle.
Well, you don't have a choice. If you don't get to tell what a woman want to do with her body. Right. If she want to go through with it, she's going through with it. Yeah. Right? Like, get a vasectomy. Like, if she, even if she, lost, like, miscarriage, and she has that date marked on her calendar as an anniversary or a remembrance of a child that was not born, you can't tell her to get over it. You can't do that. Yeah, it's her body. You can't tell her to keep a baby. You can't tell her, give me some when you want some. Like, all you can do is show up in the realest way. Because
that is a range. And I'm rolling up.
You can support. But I realized there are a lot of married people who rape their wives.
Yeah.
Woo! I seen someone on Instagram today, and I was confused. I seen something on. It's crazy you say that because I seen something on Instagram today, and long story short, a guy, he's married to a woman who has cancer. She, I guess she just don't, because she's sick, she don't really want sex like that. He said he's a man who not only wants sex, he needs sex. Mm-hmm. The question was asked, why do you feel like you need sex? He was just saying like, because I'm a man and that's just something I need. So even, he was like, I respect my wife because she still has sex with me, even when she faking it and don't feel like it and this. So people was in the comments was like, sir, that is rape.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, no, like that's low key rape because she's sick. She's not in the mood. She don't want to do it. Now, don't get me wrong. Nobody forced her at that point because, she don't have to roll over either. Mm-hmm. But it's just kind of like, I feel like that's just selfish of him because how dare you? Yeah. Like, she's sick. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, because in his mind, he feels like, okay, but my needs still have to be met. And before I go cheat on you, you're going to have to, sick or not. Right.
Put out or get out.
So you would probably know this, but I have friends that work in, the medical field. Mm-hmm. And there are a bunch of, I'm not a small number, but of women who are married, who are sick, mm-hmm. and their husband cannot be there when they're sick, and they go out and do whatever. Mm-hmm. Right? They still need to. I'm a man. I need to have this.
That's why
your wife is going through something major,
right?
Whether it's breast cancer, whether it's whatever, mm-hmm. And you still. So we talking about love and loyalty,
right?
Come on, you gotta be loyal.
Come on, man. That's all I was saying.
And so it's unfortunate, and I realize that a lot of women with their man, like they don't want to do it. But they just feel like they don't want to do the nagging, they don't want to do the complaining, so they just give it up.
Or they don't want to deal with the fact that he actually might go cheat.
Give them the side booty, like, okay, here, just take it.
But I'm just
take the side.
Just take the side booty when you act like you sleep.
What I've learned is it's always
because why would you still take it?
Right.
What I've learned is it's always better.
I ain't doing
it's always better when she wants it.
Right.
I ain't doing it.
I'm gonna lay right here. Because why would you still want to take it?
They with attitude like, they don't care. They're like,
you just on some, take it. It's yours.
They don't care about it. I wouldn't even want it after that. Like,
they don't even
they'd be like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want it like that. I gotta.
Don't give me no pity coochie. I don't want no pity. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I think I just thought that was wow, and it's just to show you how selfish people can be, especially men, but women can too.
That's nasty work.
Yeah, that's wild. But that's his wife, and it's just like she's sick, sir. Please, if you don't go, please go watch
to hell.
Just go to hell.
Yeah.
Go watch you some couple of things and go get your stuff together because ain't no way.
Life ain't even in the ground.
Like Jesus.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
But, I think that's it's really good that we got your perspective as well because a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, all the time, we only speak for ourselves. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Even when we do these episodes or whatever, like we only speak for ourselves. We only speak for how we think it should or could, or the reason why. So it's definitely good to get your perspective from a man's standpoint. But you definitely taught me some things.
There's gonna be some guys who gonna disagree, and that's okay. What I've learned is, men hear me.
They gonna hate you. They gonna call you. What's that guy named that Derek? They're gonna be like, he think he.
The ones that don't, like the boys that grew up into, that they just grew, right?
Mm-hmm. They didn't grow up.
They're not man, right? Like they're ones to disagree,
right?
Mm-hmm. But I've had men who put me to the side, and even my barber, like he was like, "Yo, bro, I gotta talk to you about something." Mm-hmm. Like, bro, you saying some real stuff. I'm going through something right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So like, men are often quiet.
Yeah.
Because they see it, they hear it, they respect it, and it's quiet.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's the ones who are loud, the hit dog and holler. Mm-hmm. And so, but I would learn with social media, a lot of people say things that they wouldn't say to your face.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's the juicy part of it. It's
and that's what makes you keep going too, though.
But it's like, like you said to my face, like I'll knock you out, like but No, I don't really receive hate. I don't receive like any bad messages.
That's good.
If I do, like sometimes like I just delete it because I feel like the trash gonna take itself out.
Absolutely. Right. And then some things is just not for everybody, and that's okay. Everybody's not here to agree. You can only speak, your truth and your experience and your advice and your opinion, like the next person, and whoever is meant for it, it'll reach whoever can take, even if it's bits and pieces from it, they'll take from it. Whatever they want to dissect and throw away, they can. Like what I say isn't bond. It's just what I feel, how I think, what my advice is, but that's not to say that you have to live it. Right. Like it's okay. Right. So I think it's important that men and women understand some of these things when it comes to, and that's why we really wanted to bring you on, because we know what you do, and we just want people, especially the women, to get just a different perspective, because there are men out here who actually hear us, right, and speak to us and love on us, versus always tearing us down. And I think that is a thing, because a lot of men do that, and a lot of women do it as well.
There's spiritual warfare going on.
Absolutely.
Man versus
every day. Yeah. So.
But again, we want to thank you for coming out and recording with us. Oh, drop your handles.
Yes.
So for anybody who want to follow him, what is your TikTok is your base, right?
TikTok is my base. It's my baby. Alexander B. Dixon. Be careful that you're not scammed by any fake pages.
Okay.
They coming. I'm like,
I can believe it.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? But
Alexander B. Dixon.
On Instagram, AD the greatest. And I will say this one thing. Thanks for having me. Yeah. But I will say, men need to have purpose.
Absolutely.
In multiple areas of their life, they should have a direction. They should be having one foot in front of the other.
Absolutely.
If you are struggling with money, it is not the time to be dating. And what I mean struggling with money, if you are negative in your bank account, or under 100, 200,000, just focus 6 months. Just do you.
Focus on yourself.
He gave y'all a big number.
Just
a
6
lot of y'all
months.
ain't over 100,000 right now, so y'all don't need to be dating.
No, I ain't say 100,000. I just say like, as long as you.
Oh, okay. I thought you said if you ain't got.
I don't even have 100,000.
No, I mean just 1,000. Like
none of us need to be dating.
a nice date. Where you could build upon, but still remain focused, and you can have a woman that you can. There's women who want to build with you. Right. And I'm not talking about building sandcastles. Right. I'm talking about building a foundation, building up on that. Those things take time, so you do have the time. But you want to position yourself, because in 6 months it'll get real. She's gonna require, not ask, but she's gonna require certain things. Absolutely. Certain things are gonna come up, right? Like if she said, "Hey, like why you been distant, man? My car, like I just need to." You want to be a problem, right?
Yeah, right.
Solve it.
Yeah.
And so,
amen.
And you want to do that if you're investing. You want it, but if it puts you back, and then now he acting funny. So I just want to say that man's supposed to have purpose, and when you live in your purpose, you'll be 10 times more, 1,000 times more productive by just being in your purpose and living in your truth, and seeing your lifestyle, writing down your lifestyle, and knowing what you can accept in your lifestyle. Yeah. Because when you communicate your lifestyle, people are able to bend to accommodate you, and they're also able to say, "Hey, listen, I respect you. This don't work for me at this time. Maybe the timing is off. Come back around."
Love that.
I will say that, but thank y'all for
no problem. Thank you for coming. I'll bring you back. With that little tidbit. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to YouTube, everything.
And we will have all his information in the
bio
below.
I've been waiting to do this shit.
Right. Oh, y'all. We love y'all, and until next